Welcome to On Writing with Onkarabile Mokoto, the show that is aiming to promote reading and writing in our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm blessed to have Katlego Thwane, who is doing a lot to promote reading in the very same community that we are in. Mr. Katlego, sir, thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm honored to be here too.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You are doing a very great job, sir, in our community. That is very relevant to the content of our show. You provide extra classes, extra reading to underprivileged learners in our community. Tell us more about where have you started, what inspired you to do what you are doing.
Basically where I started in the year 2015. In the year 2015, I was still doing my practical as a student. Then I realized in one of the children, her report card, it was written that the child was progressing very well and everything was good, but only to find out that the report card is not a true reflection of what the child is capable of doing. So I took it upon myself to have a one-on-one discussion with the parent of the child to give a child an extra support, especially with reading, writing, mathematics, and other subjects that they are doing at school, because of the child was unable to do what the report card is saying, because of we come in a community whereby in a classroom, a teacher, a ratio, he or she might be having 60 children and he's only one in a classroom, so he's unable to reach those children. So that child that made me to start what I'm doing, which is Katlego Foundation, gave me that inspiration that, you know what, let me help you on a one-on-one. Then as I was starting to help that child on a one-on-one, I saw that, you know what, this child is now progressing, he's grasping the concept that I'm teaching him. So I started to say, you know what, there probably might be all those children like that around in my community. Let me just open a Saturday school whereby I can assist children that are staying within the community. Then I transformed, I did not have space. I transformed my space, my living room, my bedroom into a classroom. So each and every Saturday, what I'll do, I'll take out my bed, my wardrobe, my laundry, take it out, then the kids will come, set the children up for learning. So that's where it grew up, whereby I opened this Saturday school whereby I help children around in the community who struggle to keep up at school, and it's also an opportunity for them to catch up on Saturdays with us.
So how many kids do you have now?
Currently that registered for the year 2022 for January, we're currently having 42 children thus far that we are assisting at DSJ Primary School. So we also partnered with a local school, which is DSJ Primary School, where we're assisting all these children.
No, nice. You're doing a great job from one kid to 42.
To 42, yes.
That's a lot. That's a progress. Now, tell me about the trips that you take. One of the things that fascinated me is the trips that you take. One of the Saturdays, you take them to the library, So I'm more on reading, I love maths, I love whatever. But when it comes to reading, I'm into reading. So tell me about that one, that aspect of reading.
So basically we have what we call a trip to a library. The moral behind the trip to a library, we want to encourage reading. I'm glad that we are sharing the same sentiment here. We want to encourage reading towards our children, whereby they know the source, the resources they can find within the library. So it gives them also an opportunity to get used to fiction books, non-fiction books, get them to know that it's a safe space to go, especially when we have to do research, and them to learn and to love the reading concept. So we normally take the children from grade 1 to 7, because we have children from grade 1 to 7. So we break it down quarterly that a certain group will go to the library so that they can explore their mind. So the moral behind is that they need to enjoy reading, promote reading, because in the library there is so much information that the children can grasp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you're at the library, how do you go about? Everyone takes the book and read for themselves, or you read for them? How do you do it?
So it works. It starts first with an induction first on how to be in a library, the rules and regulations of the library. So we'll get the librarian, the person who's going to be inducting the children first. Then after, we open cards for them in the local library here in Kopano. So they'll open cards for them so that they know how to borrow a book and so on and so forth. Then, because of they are still children, we start with them with the non-fiction books, so that it can just, they must just enjoy and what can I put it like? Familiarize themselves with an author, Then after, I sit down with them then we read for them, Then after, we give them also an opportunity to read for us, so that they can learn what they are reading.
No, it's a good work. And I mean, you have divided your mission with few areas like mathematical development, creative development, physical development. And the one that I want us to talk about is communication, language, and literacy, where there is a part where you teach them to write their names. Tell me about that one, because I thought, in grade 1, actually even in preschool, they've been taught to write their names. So how do you now teach them to write their names, whereas aren't they know how to write their names? I thought.
Yeah, so it's a bit challenging because with our kids, they're coming from a different background. Some of them have different learning barriers. As you know, kids learn, they've got 5 senses of learning, like touching, feeling, hearing, all those 5 senses of learning. So some kids, they come there, they don't know how to read, they don't know how to write. So if you don't know how to read, definitely you'll have difficulties with writing, because reading goes with writing. So you find that a child in grade 1, sometimes in grade 3, they don't know how to write their names. So we try by all means to, do first with alphabets, sounding of alphabets, teaching them how to sound alphabets so that they can be able to write their names. Also come up with games, with English is a diverse subject that you need to try to make children children can learn from something they can relate to. We try to make it more relatable unto them. So what we do, we'll say, what's your favorite color? Give me a color that has a letter of your name, so that they can familiar. If I'm Katlego, okay, K, what color start with K, try then to make them think, not just giving them answers as like that. So that's what we basically do. So those are the challenges we have. Some kids, they don't know how to read, so they don't know how to write, and at the younger age, so it becomes a problem. So
no, that's a great work, and I agree with you. I was checking the research, I think the past few years, and the statistics said 78% of grade 4 learners cannot read for meaning in any language. And I was like, so much, 78%. So I want to ask you, do you think the education system is doing enough, to really encourage learners to read?
My honest opinion, and this is my honest opinion, I think the educational system, it is correct. However, there's still much that we can still do. Much as seen, like there are schools with less resources, not having more resources in a school deprive children. A child who goes to a private school and a child who goes to a public school, you'll see there's a difference, because of the one in the private sector, there are resources such as like computers. Some children who can learn from hearing, they just put on earphones and they just play the computer, and the story is been read unto them, so it's easy for them to adapt to reading, unlike a child who's in a public school, in a township school with no resources. So it becomes a difference. So I'm saying that the educational system, if they could add more resources to all the schools, so that a child going to a private school and a public school, there's no difference. And that's where I come in to assist these children, because I want them to all of them have the same quality education.
Yeah. So up to so far, have you, since you are working with the school, have you seen any progress, maybe a feedback from the school where they give you feedback that no, we have seen progress based on your foundation? Have you had such positive feedback?
I've been having positive feedback, not only from the school, firstly for the parents. We start with the child term 1. I always tell them, Onkarabile, when you bring your child, we don't perform miracles. Learning is a process. Learning is a process. Something the parents need to understand, that learning is a process. A child wouldn't just come to Saturday school one Saturday and then the child is going to learn how to read and write, and the child becomes fine. First thing, we need to develop trust with the child. First thing, we need to develop relationships so that the child can be comfortable around us. Then he or she can grasp whatever we are trying to teach them. So we've been getting positive feedback from the parents about, like, first term, how we started the child, and the last term, then the child progressing to the next grade. Because each and every term, we ask for the termly report from the parents as well, and also from the school. And the second person that has been happy with the program is the principal of DSJ Primary School because of some of the learners they attend there. And also she's been telling me that the teachers are happy with the children's progress thus far, from writing, reading, and confidence, because one of the things that we also include is confidence, reading with confidence. You can read, but are you reading with confidence? Are you sure and are you assertive with what you will be sharing with your peers in the classroom? So feedback has been good, and at the community at large, because they are registering their children, subsequently the parents that are bringing their children in the foundation.
That's amazing. Now, you spoke about reading with confidence, and as I've said earlier, about 70% of grade 4 learners who cannot read for meaning. How do you make sure that, because you can know how to read with confidence, but then you don't know what you are reading about?
Yes, absolutely.
So how do you make sure that your kids actually read with meaning? What they are reading, they understand what they are reading. How do you maybe test them or assess them when it comes to that?
First thing, I always relate my story, Onkarabile. I was a person who was, I was coming from a township school. Then I went to a multiracial school. So the transition there, it was difficult for me because of him. I am from a Tswana speaking school only. And luckily the school that I'm doing my program at is the school that I was learning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice. DSJ Primary. So from there I went to a multiracial school, but our black parents say, hey, can I school So I went there. So for me, I always relate my story to my children that the first day I had to stand up. The teacher asked me, stand up, Katlego, read to the class. Then you start hearing your peers laughing at you. So it broke me. So I thought I had to teach myself in a hard way on how to stand up in front of my peers and read, and not just reading only. I love that we don't how we teach our children not to read only without understanding. When I give a child a book, we go through first the pictures. I want children to develop a habit of prediction. That's when they're developing an understanding of what they are reading.
Yeah.
I show them a picture. What do you think this picture is all about? I prompt them with question like, what do you see here? What do you think it will happen? How do you think the story will be concluded? From there, before we even get into the book as per se, I get to question the children. That's when I'm gauging their level of understanding about what we are getting ourselves in. Before even we read the heading, or we just read the heading. Let's say, for example, can you show me the heading of your book? Let me just do a practical. Master writing. Yeah. So I'll ask a child, master writing, what's your thoughts about master writing? That's when the child gets to speak to me about it. Say master writing, I'm thinking it's all masters who are writing, just to engage the child on the level of understanding. And that's when I'll come in and assist. It's like a schema. A schema is a background knowledge. That's when I'm assessing a background knowledge of a child before the child comes in, before we read the book, so that we can see the level of understanding where the child is in terms of the level of reading the child. So we give them also books that are child friendly for their level, like the 6, because there are ages ranging from 6 to 11. So the grade 1s, obviously I won't give a grade 1 a grade 7 book. So I'll start gauging them with the grade 1 to book, those 3 Little Pigs books. I know if you are a reader, you should know a 3 Little
definitely.
Pigs.
I think many of us know that book. Many of us,
we know that book. So we'll start our grade R's with that book to gauge their level of understanding, and also through role plays. Our kids, they love to role play. So I'll role play to them and say, okay, role play the story, maybe one chapter. Let's role play this chapter so that they can familiarize themselves with the reading. A strategy behind Onkarabile, we need to make our children enjoy reading, not just grabbing a book and reading. Like, as you say, children will just read, but they don't understand what they are reading. So get them to love the reading and also performing the art of whatever they are reading. So that's how we gauged it. We do assess by having an assessment book of gauging the book, and we exchange them books. When they've managed to master all the book, like reading everything, knowing everything in a book, they progress to a next stage whereby we give them a second book. That will be their reward.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Tell me about the handwriting, practicing the handwriting. I was asking myself about handwriting. I'm saying, we are living in a technology era. Handwriting, Why must they practice the handwriting?
I totally agree with you, my man. So handwriting, the moral behind handwriting, these children will be people one day, future leaders who will be signing checks. These people will be people who needs to be writing proposals. These people will be people who needs to attest and to take full charge and accountability in all that they'll be doing. So we teach handwriting so that they can present themselves, present their work to their peers. You know, when your work is presentable, we want to groom authors like you also in our school.
Yeah.
So it starts with the handwriting first. Those rough drafts that you have to do, mind maps and all that, it starts there. So how we teach it, grade R, grade 1, not grade R. They draw what we call a cat. So you know a cat or a human being. A cat is. We normally use a cat a writing skill whereby they draw a face, the cat's body, and the tail. So that's when they will know capital letters and small letters. Like for example, every sentence, I believe also in your book, every sentence starts with the capital letter. Yeah, you cannot be having capital letters in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah.
So handwriting goes back to sentence constructions. That's where we're putting sentence constructions, writing, punctuations, adding punctuations, figures of speech that you need to use in your sentence, the introductions of how you need to be writing your body or conclusion. So it helps them with that in our foundation, the writing.
Mr. Katlego, you're doing amazing work. You're doing amazing work.
Oh, thank you.
Now I see why you were awarded an award, South African Man of the Year award.
Thanks a lot.
It was in 2019, right?
It was in 2019. Yes.
We were together there.
Yes.
And now I see why you were awarded that. Tell me about other achievements that maybe the awards that I don't know about that you since you are doing this work.
Yeah, there are quite a lot. I'm hoping we're still on time. We've been featured number 1 in Forbes Africa, one of the biggest magazines in Africa, Forbes magazine.
Yeah, I know.
I've been featured there for the work that we do in the community. Nice. Then also Lead SA. We are 2018. We've been recognized by Lead SA for 2018 Hero for the month of October. Then we've been featured in for SA Man of the Year award you mentioned. Also South African Heroes that was playing on ETV. ETV, yes, for the work that we are doing also in the community. Also last year we've been nominated by Sunday World. Our Sunday Hero. So we got an award for our Sunday World Hero. We're there in, we go places with this community work. We started, I did not think that it will get us to where we are, but by the grace of God, obviously we are where we are, So Sunday World Heroes have been nominating us for the work that we are doing within the community. And not forgetting also Open View. We are brand ambassadors for Open View. Also Big Up Mzansi. Quite a lot. Forgive me if I did not mention others. I still love you.
There are quite a lot. There are quite a lot. And I can't. The work does shows. The work
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Not forgetting, please, YCS made me. It created a startup. Young Community Shapers. Shout out to Young Community Shapers. It created a massive startup for us. We are grateful, and all our parents and the community at large that keeps on believing in us.
No, thanks, Mr. Katlego. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, our time does not allow us to continue. But what we got is very much important. And if people want to get hold of you, maybe the parents want to register their children to you, where can they find you?
They can find us at www.atlegangbanafoundation.org.za is our website. Then our Facebook page, we Atlegang Bana Foundation. Then they can send us an email at atlegangbanafoundation.org.co.za. atlegangbanafoundation.com. Then they can send us an email there. Then our numbers, our office numbers is 083-937-9715. They can contact us there. And shout out to my team, man. I'm not alone, and I'm not alone. Shout out to the APA, Atlegang Bana Foundation team. I salute you guys and all the groundwork that you are doing, and all our sponsors. We appreciate all the love and support. And shout out to you for having us to your studios today. We sincerely appreciate.
Oh, thank you so much. You are welcome. You are welcome. Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And continue with the good work that you are doing.
Thanks a lot, man. We'd like to invite you one day. It's a wrap.
Oh yes.
Is
yes,
it a
it's
rep? We'd like to
it's
invite
yes.
you one day to come and inspire the children as well, man.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I'll be honored. I'll be honored.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching On Writing with Onkarabile Mokoto, the show that is aiming to promote reading and writing in our communities. Please do subscribe to our channel, Nolu Unlimited Multimedia. Do share, like, and subscribe. Be blessed.